Lisa McKenna thought she knew her husband better than anyone. For 12 years, she believed Captain Jack McKenna and her 17-year-old daughter Sophia had died heroes, lost at sea while attempting to rescue stranded sailors. But a single voicemail left on her phone in March 2024 would reveal the most devastating betrayal a mother could imagine. What do you do when you discover your husband didn't just take your daughter's life, he sold her to human traffickers? This is the story of how a decorated Coast Guard captain used his position to commit the unthinkable, and how one dying man's confession brought down an international trafficking network. This is Shadows by Berry. Hit subscribe and the notification bell because this story will change everything you think you know about trust and heroism. Here's what we know happened. September 14th, 2012. Captain Jack McKenna and his adopted daughter Sophia leave Key West on what everyone believed was a Coast Guard rescue mission. They never return. 2012 to 2024. Lisa McKenna mourns them as heroes while living a complete lie. March 15th, 2024, an anonymous voicemail from a dying man shatters 12 years of false grief. April 8th, 2024, the FBI raids an underground network that destroyed not just one family, but dozens. Pay attention to the detail about Sophia's passport renewal 3 weeks before the disappearance, because that single piece of paperwork reveals how Jack planned the perfect crime. Our story begins in Key West, Florida, where Coast Guard families are respected and no one questions a decorated officer's motives. Lisa McKenna, 39, was a Navy communications specialist with an analytical mind. Captain Jack McKenna, 45, was a 22-year Coast Guard veteran and Medal of Valor recipient. But Jack had a secret gambling addiction that had spiraled to $340,000 in debt to dangerous people. Sophia Chen McKenna, 17, was Lisa's adopted daughter. Sophia's biological parents, Lisa's best friends, had died in a car crash when Sophia was 12. Lisa promised at their funeral to raise Sophia as her own. When Lisa married Jack 2 years later, he legally adopted Sophia. To everyone else, they were the perfect military family. Jack was known for volunteering for dangerous rescue missions. Sophia was senior class president with early admission to the Naval Academy. But what no one knew was that Jack had been contacted by human traffickers who saw opportunity in his Coast Guard position. They needed military personnel who could transport victims to international waters without suspicion. Jack's gambling debts made him desperate. The traffickers offered $500,000 for Sophia specifically, enough to pay his debts and start over. They wanted a military daughter with a clean background and high intelligence. Sophia fit perfectly. Friday, September 14th, 2012, 5 a.m. The call came in. A civilian yacht was disabled 40 miles offshore. Jack volunteered for the weekend rescue mission, which wasn't unusual. But something felt different. Lisa overheard fragments of Jack's phone conversation. "She's 17, papers are ready, final payment." When she asked about it, Jack said it was just Coast Guard paperwork. Sophia came downstairs, already dressed in her Coast Guard auxiliary uniform. Jack said it was a training exercise for her Naval Academy preparation. But Sophia seemed nervous, which wasn't like her. As they prepared to leave, Sophia did something she'd never done before. She gave Lisa an encrypted USB drive and said, "For Mom, open if I don't come back." Lisa laughed it off as teenage dramatics. "You're going on a rescue mission, not a war zone." Sophia's face was serious. "Mom, if something happens, remember I love you, but I couldn't let him." Jack interrupted from the doorway. "Ready to go, kiddo?" Sophia's sentence was never finished. Jack's goodbye was rushed. "Take care of yourself, sweetheart. Not see you tonight, but take care of yourself." as if he wasn't planning to be there to take care of her. They left at 6:15 a.m. Lisa waved from the porch, but neither of them waved back. If Lisa had opened that USB drive immediately, everything might have been different. By 11 p.m., Lisa was worried. She finally opened Sophia's USB drive and found a video that made her blood run cold. Sophia, terrified, spoke to the camera. "Mom, if you're watching this, Jack was involved in whatever happened to me. He owes money to really bad people. I found papers, fake passports, travel documents with my picture but someone else's name. He's been planning something." The video showed screenshots of Jack's computer, dark websites, conversations about American girls and military families, Bitcoin transactions for special delivery services. "I think Jack is going to try to sell me," Sophia said, tears streaming. "Tomorrow's supposed to be a rescue mission, but I heard him talking about final payments and delivery coordinates." The Coast Guard search began at dawn. Jack's vessel was found at 2:15 p.m., drifting with engines running. No signs of damage, life jackets still secured, emergency beacon never activated. But Jack and Sophia were gone. The GPS showed Jack had deviated from his planned route to coordinates that matched what Sophia had written down from his computer. Security footage from a nearby marina showed Jack meeting with unidentified men on the disabled yacht. Sophia was visible in the background, appearing restrained. The yacht disappeared before authorities could intercept it. Lisa provided Sophia's evidence to the FBI. What looked like a heroic Coast Guard captain and daughter lost at sea was actually a human trafficking operation. Agent Maria Santos of the FBI's Human Trafficking Task Force took over the case. Jack's financial records revealed the depth of his desperation: gambling debts, a secret second mortgage, Sophia's college fund emptied, even Lisa's grandmother's jewelry pawned. FBI cyber specialists recovered deleted files showing Jack's communications with an international trafficking network. The traffickers specialized in acquiring young American women for wealthy overseas buyers, and they valued military families because frequent relocations made tracking harder. Military children were well-educated and multilingual. Military personnel had access to boats and aircraft for transport. Jack had been recruited specifically because of his Coast Guard position. The buyers offered $500,000 for Sophia, enough to solve his debt problem. Agent Santos discovered this wasn't Jack's first involvement. Over 3 years, there had been 3 other missing Coast Guard dependents. 2009, Captain Torres's 16-year-old niece lost at sea during family vacation. 2010, Petty Officer Chen's 18-year-old daughter disappeared during shore leave. 2011, Chief Rodriguez's 17-year-old stepdaughter vanished during fishing trip. All 3 men had gambling debts. All had been in contact with the same trafficking network. The FBI coordinated with 12 countries to investigate the Phoenix Foundation, a fake charity that was actually one of the largest trafficking operations in the Western Hemisphere. Their leader used the name Richard Phoenix, and they operated from Caribbean islands, selling victims to wealthy buyers in the Middle East. But despite massive international investigation, Jack and Sophia had vanished completely. The trail went cold after the yacht left U.S. waters. While the FBI investigation stalled, the public narrative became something entirely different. Jack and Sophia were declared lost at sea, line of duty. Jack received the Coast Guard Medal posthumously. A scholarship was established in Sophia's name. Lisa was thrust into the role of grieving military widow. She spoke at memorial services, accepted medals, and received survivor benefits, all based on a heroic lie she knew was false. Every speech was torture. Every time Lisa described Jack as a hero, she knew she was perpetuating a lie. The military benefits she received, $750,000 in life insurance, $4,000 monthly survivor payments, felt like blood money. Lisa developed severe PTSD, not from losing her family, but from being forced to live with the truth while everyone celebrated a lie. She couldn't sleep, couldn't form relationships, couldn't trust her own judgment about people. Annual memorial ceremonies were agony. Speakers would describe Jack's heroic legacy, while Lisa sat, knowing he was probably alive somewhere, living comfortably on the money he received for selling their daughter. Lisa eventually moved to Pensacola for anonymity, working part-time jobs and existing but not really living. The only thing that kept her going was hope that someday the truth would come out. She stayed in contact with Agent Santos and the families of other victims, forming an informal support group. They hired private investigators and lobbied for congressional hearings, but were consistently blocked by officials who said reopening cases would be disrespectful to the dead. By 2023, Lisa had lost hope. She was 49, living alone, surviving on benefits she felt guilty accepting, with no expectation she'd ever learn what happened to Sophia. March 15th, 2024, 3:47 a.m. Lisa's phone rang with an unknown Caribbean number. A dying man's voice, weak and labored. Mrs. McKenna. I was there that day, on the yacht. Your husband didn't die. He sold Sophia to men who... God forgive me, I should have stopped it. She's alive. She's been alive this whole time. Lisa's hands shook as the man continued. I'm dying now, cancer, and I can't take this secret with me. Your daughter's on an island? The Phoenix Foundation. Check coordinates. 24.5617 degrees north, 81.7815 degrees west. She has children now, 2 little ones. She calls herself Sarah, but it's her. Your husband goes by Richard Phoenix now. Runs the whole operation. I'm sorry it took me 12 years to find courage to call you. Lisa immediately called Agent Santos. Satellite imagery confirmed an island compound at those coordinates. Thermal imaging showed 20 people, including children. The Bahamian government agreed to a joint task force operation. Intelligence confirmed that Jack had become Richard Phoenix, leader of the trafficking organization. Over 12 years, he'd used his military training to expand operations throughout the Caribbean. 2 weeks later, Lisa boarded a military transport, finally heading toward answers she'd waited 12 years to get. April 8th, 2024, Operation Homecoming. The FBI raided the island compound, rescuing 12 women aged 19-35, all trafficked as teenagers. Several had children born in captivity. Lisa watched Jack, now heavier, grayer, but unmistakably her former husband, being led away in hand. When he saw her, he tried to explain, but Lisa felt nothing. The man she'd loved was a stranger. Then Agent Santos led her to room 7. The door opened, and there was Sophia, 29 years old, thinner, with short brown hair instead of blonde, marked by experiences Lisa couldn't imagine. But her eyes were still Sophia's eyes. "Mom?" Sophia whispered, barely believing. The reunion was everything Lisa had dreamed of, and nothing like she'd imagined. Sophia was alive, but deeply traumatized. She had 2 daughters, ages 6 and 3, fathered by Jack. She'd been told Lisa was dead, shown fake funeral articles, made to believe her mother had abandoned her. I hated you for 12 years, Sophia admitted. I thought you gave me away. Jack was convicted on all charges and sentenced to life without parole. He died in prison 3 years later, never showing remorse. The international investigation led to 47 arrests across 8 countries and completely dismantled the trafficking network. Today, 4 years later, the McKenna family has found a new normal. Lisa, directs the Sophia McKenna Foundation for Trafficking Survivors. Sophia is a lawyer specializing in trafficking cases. Her daughters are healing from their traumatic childhood. Some bonds are stronger than betrayal, Lisa reflects. Love finds a way home, even across oceans of lies. According to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, over 400,000 people are trapped in modern slavery in the US alone. 73% of victims are recruited by someone they trust. This has been Shadows by Berry. Share this story to raise awareness, subscribe for more cases that demand justice, and remember, trust your instincts. Sometimes, the people who look like heroes are the ones we most need to fear. The truth always finds a way to surface,